Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grid Girls, the women racing to win. Joe from the Grid Network, Daniel from Racers, the girls behind the helmet. Very excited to have Belen Garcia joining us on the program today. We'll be interviewing her later on. We'll preview the next weekend racing, including Jamie Chadwick and the Formula Regionals. And we encourage you to please comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. Don't miss another episode of Grid Girls, as well as all of our other Grid Network programming. But let's start with a historic weekend from the Brazilian Endurance Championship.
Yeah, hi Joe, hi everyone. Good evening if you're in Europe, and good morning if you're on the US side of the world. As Joe said, Bruna Tomaselli had a pretty historic weekend in the Brazilian Endurance Championship. Bruna is the only Brazilian and South American racer on the WSeries grid. Of course, Bruna was racing in the US last year. She was doing the US 2000 Championship, which is part of the Road to Indy program. It was her second year in the series, and she did very well in 2019. She had a lot of top 10 finishes, went very well for her. So definitely she caught the attention of the WSeries Championship, which at their second season was looking for more talented women and more addition to the grid. So definitely Bruna was selected together with some other really interesting drivers joining the field. They were set to join the field in 2020 before, of course, the championship, the season was cancelled for the COVID crisis. Among them, there was obviously Belen Garcia, who will be with us later on the show. And Bruna Tomaselli, she also found herself without a racing program in 2020 after the series cancellation. In September, she had a deal to race in the Brazilian Endurance Championship, and so she made her endurance debut. She never raced in GT cars either, or prototype cars, so it was a first for her. But she's starting to be very competitive in the Brazilian Endurance Championship, which is a pretty competitive series in Brazil. She's racing for Team Sati Racing in her MRX prototype in the P3 class. She did a couple of podiums already and a pole position, so definitely coming up very strongly in that championship. And they were racing in Curitiba International Circuit last weekend, which wasn't a new track for Bruna, because the first race event that she entered in that series was right at Curitiba, so definitely something positive for her coming into the weekend, knowing already the track. And she did very well. She qualified second. They had a pretty competitive practice session and qualifying on Friday, and then the race went very well for them. Actually, they had some minor setbacks in the early stages of the race, namely in the first stint, in the first hour, when Bruna's teammate had a collision, and they damaged the front end of the car. They had to pit and to fix the car. So the race didn't start perfectly for them. But then Bruna did the second stint and started to chase back the leaders. Then she had the final stint into the fourth hour. It was a 4-hour race. I would say just like the ELMS, it's very similar format to the European Le Mans series. She did basically she did 2 hours out of 4, even though there are 3 drivers on the team sharing the car. And Bruna did very well in the final stint. She recovered very well. They were a little bit lucky towards the end, because the top cars in class had some technical issues. But of course, it's very important in endurance racing to always be there and always believe in race victory. Never lose time, even though you are not in the front runner position, because everything can happen, and it did happen. So Bruna made the passes for victory in the very final stages of the race. They won the race, and it was an historic win because it was the first ever victory of a woman in the Brazilian Endurance Championship. So a really notable result for her and for the whole movement of women in motorsport in South America.
Very exciting. Congratulations to Bruna and her team on a historic accomplishment. Definitely looking forward to the 2021 W Series. And now we're very excited for our next guest right here. She too will be competing in the W Series. We're very excited. It's going to be second time we have a race car driver here to be interviewed with us. We definitely want to encourage everyone to follow her on her Twitter, Facebook, Instagram account. Please welcome Belen Garcia. Welcome. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm fine. What about you?
Doing great here. And of course, with us, Daniel from Racers, the girls behind the helmet.
Here we go. So thank you very much, Belen, for your time and for being with us today. We spoke about Bruna Tomaselli winning the Brazilian Endurance Championship first race for her. Definitely another very interesting new entrant in WSeries who was set to compete in the all-female Formula 3 Championship in 2020 was, of course, also Belen Garcia. Belen, of course, didn't have the program she was set to compete in WSeries this year for the cancellation of the season. But she definitely could put something together in the Spanish karting championship, and also last weekend she made her GT racing debut at only her second season in car racing. So Belen, how was your GT racing debut?
It was fantastic. I mean, it was super emotional because I was racing with my dad, and I don't know, it was so fun because we were racing just for fun, just to enjoy. So yeah, really good feeling, and looking forward to another race in GTs. But for now, I'll have to focus in formulas.
I think you only tested the car once before the race. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. It was like that. Well, half a day only because I had a meeting in the afternoon, so just the morning session.
Mm-hmm. How was your going from formulas? You only had one season in Formula 4 before switching to to a very different kind of car.
Well, it wasn't now the switch, but it was the new beginning because I didn't take a Formula car or no car from March, so it was like beginning again. And yeah, some things were different than I expected and different that I remembered from the Formula. But yeah, it was quite easy because all I was doing is enjoying and making the most of it, so everything comes together like that.
So definitely winning also at your very first race it's a really huge accomplishment. So congratulations again for that. How was the race with your father for the first time?
Yeah. It was the first time we raced each other. We were rivals in the past, and we even crashed. So we were happy that we couldn't crash this time. And we were a quick team. He had the experience with the car. He was racing in cross country this year, so it was difficult to switch for him. But as I said, it was enjoying, and that way things came out well. And yeah, pretty much it's that. We enjoyed so much, and we were fast in the end. So yeah, we could win.
Is it something GT4 or GT racing in general? Is it something that you are interested in pursuing, even though maybe, well, hopefully next year you'll be coming back to Formula cars?
Well, yeah, of course. I was surprised about this category. I didn't know how it was, but I was surprised about the car and about the driving. So yeah, I loved it really, but not for this year, I guess. If I have a chance, yeah, I will take it. But I'm focusing now in formulas, and it's my main goal now.
And of course, you also competed in the Spanish karting championship. You went back to karting after a season in Formula 4. How did you went?
Well, I started pretty bad. because it was 2 years without karting and so long without racing in any car, in any kind of racing category. So it was a tough start, but then after the first race of the Spanish Championship and the World Karting Championship, I gained so much experience. And in the two last races I did, I was quick. I was really quick. I felt strong, but things weren't going my way. I had no luck. In the penultimate race in Chiva in Valencia, the spoiler broke, so I had to retire on my way to the podium. And in Zuera, I had a massive crash on Saturday, so everything was not that good. We could repair, we could race, but we were in the back already. So yeah, really tough one because we were fighting for the podium.
Of course, at least you didn't have much luck, but at least you were race ready. You had an opportunity to stay fit and during the winter, during all the big pause of this year. And Spain, like Italy and some other countries in Europe, had the toughest lockdowns in Europe. How did you cope with that during those months, and when you learned that the WSeries 2020 was cancelled?
Yeah, it was really tough for me because I'm not really used to being at home. In fact, when they announced that we were going on lockdown in Spain, I was in Valencia at the track testing with the Formula Renault, and in the following day, I think, I had another test here in Barcelona, and it got cancelled, and it was a pretty big shock. But then, yeah, we had to cope with it. Everyone had to. And I did. It was tough in the beginning because, I didn't know what to do. I had to study a lot. I had to do many things in a pretty little space. So I was really nervous. I needed to go out, but then I got used to that. I spent my time mostly studying and testing. I mean, in and exercising. So I had it like a preparation for this season, and yeah, it would worked out because I arrived to karting and I was fit, and now I feel fitter than ever. I mean, it has given me an opportunity to prepare better.
Of course, it's motorsport. I always say that it's also a very psychological sport. With that pause going on, which was the same for everybody, did you think that it could have hampered maybe some of yours, not only you but also your colleagues, opportunity to go on the long run in single seaters?
Well, in my case, it gave me the opportunity to see things differently because when you are so into racing and into competing, you lose sometimes track of what you're doing. And watching it from outside, watching people race, and I'm staying at home, made me really value what I was doing and what I had the opportunity for. So I think I'm more prepared, and also I'm more motivated, even more because I already was. But yeah, this feeling of, I don't know, it's pretty special to go back to formulas and to go back to racing now. It's not just a season. It's not just a championship. It's a new beginning. So it gave me so much, really. I like to keep it that way. I like to think about it as an opportunity and to think about it that as this new feeling I have and this new motivation I have.
Definitely, I know that's really exciting to hear about everything now. Definitely, I got to ask. I know, considering everything that has happened this year with 2020, one of the things we've seen, especially, is when it comes to esports, we saw the W Series introduce an esports series, as well as many other series. They were all doing esports as well. When it came to the esports, is that something where you're really into the esports? I know there's some racers out there that really love, they're engaged with the e-racing. Some race car drivers are just, they know it's there, they'll participate, but they're not hugely vested. And have you tried some of the other racing series on simulators like Indy cars or even American Open wheels, NASCAR?
Yeah, I've been trying so many cars and series and everything in iRacing and in simulators, but just for fun. I mean, when we started the series, I was pretty, you know, busy with studying and everything, so it was difficult to get to the level we needed to perform in WSeries esports, because I took it as a way of enjoying racing, still being at home. But then when I could be more in the simulator and spend more hours in it and training and everything, I think I got better and I enjoy it in a different way, in a more competitive way. Yeah, I did some other series, but I wasn't really competitive because of that, because I haven't put the hours others had put, because I didn't have the chance to do it. So for me, I like to keep it to learn the tracks and to be prepared for new championships and everything. Like for this season in W Series, we wouldn't be able to be much on track, so I have to be prepared for what it is, and but not racing competitively because I have a pretty busy schedule when studying and everything and training. Um, so it's not my thing for now.
Totally understand. Now, of course, the W Series, they're going to be sharing some of the race dates with Formula One. Hasn't been an official announcement yet, but some of the dates people are anticipating: United States, Circuits of America, Mexico City. How exciting is that to be at the same venue with the Formula One drivers, and of course, the media exposure for you and the W Series with the Formula One stars?
It is simply amazing. I mean, when last year they announced we were going to do two races with Formula One, I cried. It was too much to handle. And now we are racing all races with them. So they are taking us as a part of them. And it's so valuable for me because we have this exposure with them that we wouldn't have in other championships, and it would be so important for every one of us because we will be able to get more chances, hopefully. So yeah, pretty excited and really looking forward to it. Simply that.
I know, especially for some of our American viewers out there, when it comes to W Series, they're probably more familiar with some of the tracks, like I mentioned, Mexico City, Circus of Americas. Is there any particular tracks out there that you're really eager about racing, or even a bit more, okay, this is a big learning curve for me, it's going to be a really challenging track?
Well, I was in Spa a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, some time ago, and I really loved it. I loved the track. I wasn't racing there, but I didn't need to. I think it's a really exciting track, and I'm looking forward to going there. I hope we go there, but if not, it's always special to race at home here in the Circuit of Catalonia. So we'll see. I'm excited about them all because it will be mostly new tracks for me. So yeah, all of them.
All of them, I mean, it's a great track lineup. We're super excited. And Spa, of course, that is such a wonderful track. Ed Rouge, Radion, man, really exciting stuff. For all our viewers out there, how are some of the best ways to show their support? I know you're on Instagram, Twitter. How could fans contact, well, mainly support, watch it, and follow your progression in the racing season?
Well, I'm Belen Garcia in Twitter and Instagram. And yeah, mainly that are my channels. So yeah, go follow me.
I think you are studying computer engineering or something like that.
Yeah, telematics engineering.
How is it going?
It's going better. I had put some loads of work, and now I'm studying the same. I'm keeping that rhythm when of the lockdown. So I'm really better than last year, and I'm really motivated about that. So
Great stuff.
yeah, thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure.
We have a pretty busy weekend coming up. While last week there were only 2 races for women in motorsport, Bruna's race and Belen racing in the Spanish Endurance Championship. We will have a little bit more of a busy weekend this time coming up. Euro NASCAR, the European NASCAR division, is rounding out its championship with 4 races in 4 days. They're doing a little bit of a final part of the season, like Formula E did in Berlin earlier this year. They struggle a little bit more to put together a calendar after a couple of rounds were cancelled. So they decided to go to Valencia, to the Ricardo Tormo circuit, to do the last final 4 races. And we covered the last round with Julia Landauer, American racer, who is really starting to be more competitive in the European NASCAR division, and Arianna Casoli, the Italian racer that was very unlucky last time out when with that big crash at the Croatian race. We still don't know if Arianna will be on the grid this time in Valencia, because of course there were a lot of damages to her car, to her number 58 car. Hopefully she will join the pack, the field in Valencia, but definitely Julia Landauer will be there. So we will definitely look forward to see more from her final weekend in her rookie season in Europe. Then of course we also have a Formula Regional European Championship, which is basically the top Formula 3 championship in Europe, apart from the international one, which follows Formula 1 at their weekends. Jamie Chadwick is racing there, British WSeries inaugural champion. Jamie has had a pretty challenging first year in the Formula Regional European Championship. We followed her season both on track side, and we spoke about her very often here on the show. So definitely we will follow her weekend in Vallelunga. Hopefully I will be there as well. And then together with the Formula Regional, there's also the Italian Formula 4 Championship. They were often racing alongside each other. In the Italian Formula 4, we also have Amda Al-Kubaisi, the younger Al-Kubaisi sister. It's their last race as well, in racing in Vallelunga, just outside of the capital city of Rome. So definitely also very interesting to see how Hamda will close her first full season in the Italian Formula 4 Championship, which, as we often say, it's one of the most competitive championships in Europe for Formula 4 cars. And then we have the Super Formula Championship back on track in Suzuka, which is the premier Japan Formula Series, single-seater series, where Tatiana Calderon is racing. It will be her 3rd race in the championship after she was forced to miss a couple of rounds due to the coronavirus-related travel restrictions this year. But definitely Tatiana is rounding out her season in Japan. She's staying there, of course, to avoid unnecessary travel. She has been testing prior to the season. So definitely interesting to see the home of the Japanese Formula 1 Grand Prix hosting the Japanese Super Formula race this weekend.
Definitely really exciting. I know we're going to be following everyone this upcoming race weekend. We encourage everyone, be sure to tune in next week for our program as we will review each of the races. That will do for today's program. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Definitely appreciate it. Encourage more fans and viewers to share our videos, especially with all the women racing around the world. And be sure to visit Racers, the Girls Behind the Helmet, for full coverage of all the women racing around the world. They have a wonderful team at the track week in and week out. Wish everyone a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.